Welcome to vlog number 7. Check out this thing I just bought. I went out of town and I bought a sword. It's huge. Like I'm 6'2", and this thing's right underneath my chest. Wild, insane. I'm so happy about it though. It's just like the little things that make me happy. I'm going to the gym with Cody. Cody, if you don't know, is one of my really good friends, but he's also the owner and broker of Think Real Estate. It's the company that I work in, honestly. So we're gonna go work out. We're gonna go hit our legs because we got chopsticks for legs. So we're trying to work them out. I drank some Red Taz, some pretty good stuff. Actually, what's funny is I went to Orlando this weekend, and like the owner of Red Taz is my friend's next door neighbor, and so like it literally tastes like Red Bull, and it's like half the price of Red Bull. So if you like Red Bull and you want to essentially get the things from Red Bull but don't necessarily care about the name brand, I love Red Bull, but I don't like Red Bull prices. So Red Taz, dope. I'm not even sponsored by them. I just genuinely I like this. I got Lydia Lane under contract, which is great. If you have been seeing my short form videos, if you do follow me on Instagram, Lydia Lane was that bachelor pad that I had on as my listing. It's a beautiful condo, but it just took a while to sell. But luckily, we got it under contract. There is an assessment on it, so we're trying to work through some things. I need to get some documents, so I'm waiting on an email from that. Just posted vlog number 5 and just uploaded vlog number 6, so this is vlog number 7. We're just gonna keep the ball rolling. And then yeah, so in the meantime, I'm gonna go put on some socks and then we're gonna go to the gym and we're gonna go kill these legs. I'll put what my leg day workout is right about here. Anyways, it was an insane leg day workout. I was gonna go get something to eat, but I probably should try to see if I have any food at home. Hopefully there's biryani. If there's biryani, I'll be like smacking on that. It's a beautiful neighborhood. I love this neighborhood. This is where we're staying at right now. But, oh, also, I'm planning on buying a house. So if you're an agent and you're not taking advantage of like your license and stuff, what are you doing? There's so many incentives to kind of go and buy the product that you're selling. So just go do it. Because eventually, like, what's going to happen, like in December, I'm going to have to move out anyways. So it's like I could either either rent an apartment or go and get a roommate for that. Or I could go buy a house and get a roommate for that. So I might as well just go buy a house and get a roommate. And essentially, I'll walk into a house completely for free. And I'll be able to kind of tell you guys exactly how I'm going to be able to do that. And it's like these incentives from D.O. Horton. Now, I know D.O. Horton has like a bunch of like, you know, backlash in regards to the build quality. And like, I'm not going to necessarily say that they're the best, but I'm not going to say that they're the absolute worst either. They're a massive home builder in the United States. I think they're the largest home builder in the United States. And so whenever they come up with these incentives for agents to sell their homes, you should also take an incentive to go and buy the homes too, because they're building in up and coming areas. They're not stupid at where they're building, to say the least, right? They're going to be building in pretty good areas, and they're going to be building nice homes for the most part. They, like, in my eyes, this is what D.O. Horton's doing, right? They're building neighborhoods that are safe, that are clean, and that are a good first-time home, or even an investment home, right? You get a house, you can rent it out, and you don't have to pay. You don't have to pay an astronomical amount for this house. And this is a perfect, good first home. You know, like obviously, like the build quality could be better, and that's why they have different tiers. And they have their express homes, and I know that they have like different people that say different things about them. But honestly, like if you're looking just to build your asset levels and stuff like that, these are really good homes to start buying up, because they're not going to really depreciate that much. If not that, they're at least going to hold their value
for the long run, right? And everyone's always talking about like, oh, the market's going to crash, the market's going to crash, and what X, Y, and Z. But think about this, right? You're going to be living in a house for the next 5 to 7 years, anyways, and by then, look at from 2008 to 2013. 2008 market crash, 2013 market's starting to come back up. Like that's almost five. That's 5 years right there. Market's rebounded itself. Now, obviously, we're not in that same market crash, right? COVID was astronomical. It was very, very like you can go borrow money for, you can go borrow money pretty cheap at a 3% interest rate. That's insane. 7% right now sounds insane because we're so used to always saying 3 and 4%, maybe even 2%. And now a 7% interest rate sounds insane, but if you look at it through history, like 7% is kind of average for the most part. And everyone's like, oh, but housing prices need to come down. Housing prices can come down if there's a lot of inventory. There's a shortage of houses in the United States. And what's happening is like all these baby boomers and whatnot, they've had a lot of kids, and like these kids are now in like the 20s and 30s or 20 and 30 years old, about the time that they need to start buying houses. So what's going to start happening? You have a lot of demand for houses, but you don't have that much supply. So what happens to the brand new built homes? Start going off the market pretty quickly. It's simple economics at that point. It's just supply and demand. Like, and trying to explain that to people, because like everyone's so like caught up with what Fox News or CNBC has to say about the housing market and interest rates and stuff like that. But even if rates do come back down, what do you think's going to happen to prices? They're going to go right back up, because then people are going to start wanting to come back in and start buying up houses. And then what do you think the house that you bought at a 7% interest rate is going to be valued at when interest rates are back down at 3 or 4%, maybe even 5%? The prices are going to start climbing back up. Like, that's just like, you really don't have to be Einstein to think about that. You just have to like put 2 and 2 together at that point. You know what I mean?
And like, think about this, right? So COVID happened and then everyone has it at 3, 4, 2.5, 3%. Great rates, right? I actually got a townhouse, and at the time she bought it with an interest rate of about like 2.75%, right? She bought it at 170. I then sold that property about like last month at 240,000. That's almost a $70,000 like increase, even though everyone is saying that the housing crisis, or that there's a housing bubble and it's about to pop and X, Y, and Z, and you know prices are gonna go drop like crazy or whatever it is. Homie, she bought this in 2018. It's 2023. That's 5 years later. Like, that's insane. Like, I know that like during that time, like, and then it was honestly a full cash price offer, like, and then on top of that, like, we closed within like 10 days. Like, it was insane. Like, and because there's still value in that, you're still, if you buy in a developing area, the developing area is going to bring back the appreciation due to the fact that everyone's going to want to go buy it there, because there's a lot of demand in that area. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know, like, guys, just do your own research when it comes to like your own market. And I can specifically talk about Bay County because that's the market that I'm in. I can't talk about what's happening in San Francisco, because San Francisco, there's a lot of other economic factors that have to play, right? The main one being employment. Like, if people don't have jobs, people aren't going to be able to buy houses. And if San Francisco and Austin and LA and whatever it is, and like all these tech, and like Silicon Valley, all these tech hubs are basically firing a bunch of people are losing their jobs. Unemployment rate is going to be at an all-time high at that point. People won't have money to go and spend on houses. If you do it in a city that has a lot of population, that's obviously going to affect the national market, but that's not going to necessarily affect specific markets around, right? Miami's market, Bay County's market, and Jacksonville's market, Austin and Dallas and San Francisco and New York and Denver, Colorado, whatever it is, all these markets are very, very different, and they all have their own particular niches of what they're really good at. It's like saying that, like, oh, since America isn't doing so well, Dubai is not going to do so well. Like, no. That does that make sense? No. Like, Dubai is completely different than what America does. Dubai is like very advanced. America, I'm not gonna say it's not as advanced as Dubai is, you know? And like the development that's happening over there isn't necessarily happening over here. What do you think is gonna happen in Dubai? Prices are gonna start going back up because they're gonna have a lot more tourism. Then they're gonna have a lot more like tech companies moving over there. There's no taxes over there, and X, Y, and Z. There's so much incentives to go over there. And then what's gonna happen to the States? Like, I'm not gonna say that this is necessarily gonna happen to the States, but what I'm trying to explain is that like they're two different markets at that point. They both have their pros and cons to why they are where they are. When it comes to buying a house, stop listening to the news, because the news thrives off of problematic ideas, and they want to inform you that everything's going to crap. Like, that's just how the news works. That's how they get a lot of views. Like, if I was to show you, armed man comes into the store and shoots the clerk to grab all the money from the register, sounds a lot more enticing than man saves a cat from a tree. That the negative grabs a lot more attention than the positive, and the news and the media obviously knows all of that. And then obviously at that point people think like, oh, the world's actually going to crap and whatever it is, so let's go and hold off on everything and let's not buy anything because some dude on some internet platform basically just told me that it's a bad time to go buy anything. Like, dude, you can call me up and I'll tell you this. I'll literally have a conversation with you, and I'll literally tell you the same exact thing over and over. And I'll actually have local data for whatever I'm showing you or whatever I'm telling you as well. If you can do your own research, find a professional in that particular market to help you understand what is happening in your particular market, and stop listening to national things. So that about wraps up vlog number 7. If you guys have any particular questions or anything that you guys want me to share my input on, I'll be more than happy to kind of discuss them with you guys. Just give you my little thought process on when it comes to like different ideas, different people, different business strategies, or whatever it is. I don't have a degree in business. This is everything that I'm kind of just freeballing for the most part, just seeing what works, what doesn't work. So like, I know that I don't necessarily have a degree, but I do have real world experience as opposed to somebody else that probably has never even tried to start a business. And I am a firm believer that your failures teach you a lot more than your wins, and I've had tons of them. So with that being said, I want to keep everything real with you guys. If I don't know something, I will let you guys know if I don't know it, but at the same time, I will go find the answer and I'll get right back with you. So with that being said, catch you guys on the next video. But yeah, see ya. Peace.